Season 2 of Titans has begun. Welcome back. This is the Icon back up in this biatch, and we're just going to go over the first episode of Season 2 of Titans. I'm going to go through the whole episode. I'm going to give you the good, the bad, the predictions, and hopefully we'll do this for every episode going forward because there's only 12 or 13 episodes this season. Alright, so let's get right into it. So the show starts with, the way it ended, where Dick was possessed is a good word. He's actually under the influence of Trigon, and because he gave into the darkness by killing Batman in that imaginary fantasy sequence. So Raven's trying to wake him up. She's trying to snap him out of it. It's not working. At this point, Corey and Donna, they're still outside, like the vortex or whatever, because they're trying to get in. From what we saw in the last season, Hank and Dawn, she was woken up from the coma, and Raven had gotten to her head. She also got into Hank's head and told them to go look for Jason Todd. They find Jason Todd. They find him riding a motorcycle around Wayne Mansion, going down the steps, but at least he wore a helmet, so that's pretty cool. And they meet him, and it was actually pretty funny because when they met him, they didn't know he was the new Robin. Obviously, they don't keep tabs on... I mean, they know about Batman. They know who Batman is, but they don't keep tabs on, what he's been up to. So, when they see him, they're just like, hey, we're looking for your boss, the guy who has the scary cave downstairs. And then he's just like, well, Bruce isn't here, but I can help you. And they're just like, well, why should we help? Why, what the hell will we need your help for? And he's like, well, because I'm the new Robin. And then Don starts laughing. Hey, Hank is like, yeah, whatever. And, he's basically like, like me and Dick, I had a falling out the last time I saw him. He was like, I want to make it up. So, he joins the fight. When Hank, Don, and Jason arrive at the house where the vortex is and where Corey and where Donna is. Donna, and I didn't realize this, it actually was one of those funny things we had to think about. Donna actually hadn't met Jason Todd until that point. So in her mind, she's thinking everything's still the same. So she knows Hank, she knows Don, because they were part of the original Titans. But she doesn't know who Jason is. So when Jason gets out of the car and then she sees him, Donna's first reaction is she goes, "What the fuck is that? And why is he wearing Dick's costume?" And I thought that was really funny. There are a lot of f-bombs thrown in this episode. Corey and Donna still continuing their little their little rivalry from last season, because Corey was trying to fire blast the vortex, and then Donna was like, stop wasting your power because it's not working. And then and then she was like, your sarcasm's not helping. And she was just like, well, you burning out your power is not helping. And she was like, bitch, you used to be a Titan and you quit. And then she's like, you want to go there? And then the two of them were actually gonna come blows to blow. So we're actually not done with that feud, not by a long shot. So so then Trigon ends up allowing them into the vortex. Each one of them go in, and he puts them in the same type of situation that he put Dick in, where they have to make a choice. Because Trigon's whole thing is, in order for him to rise to power, he needs to feed off the darkness. He needs people to, embrace the darkness. So he puts all of them in a situation where they're being forced to embrace the darkest moments of their lives. For Donna, that was killing the man who set a house fire that killed her father. And he gave them a choice. To Trigon's credit, he actually did give all of them a choice, because for Donna especially, when she caught the guy who set the fire that killed her dad, the guy actually said to her, he was like, listen, I'm not a well person, I'm sick, take me to jail. And she had a choice. She could do the right thing and took him to jail, but she was like, no. She threw him out the window and killed him. Hank and Dawn was basically drugs, because their sequence took place after both of them had beat the shit out of the guy who sexually molested Hank, the gym instructor or whatever, the guy who sexually molested him as a child. So, it takes place after that. And actually, the funny thing is, in the actual real life situation, after they beat up the gym teacher, the two of them actually had sex. But instead of this, they were both sitting on the couch, and Hank had got heroin, to I guess take the pain away. And Dawn actually said, she was like, like, I don't want the drugs, like, I just want you. But he was like, nah, it'll make you feel good, baby. And then so she took the drugs. So his darkness was actually giving into giving into the drugs, and her darkness was accepting it, because she could have said no. She could have been like, that's not me, that's not what I want. But instead she chose to take the pain away, if you will. So that was them. Corey, it was basically her just doing what she came to do, which was kill Rachel. She was sent to Earth to kill Rachel, and then because she ended up, developing a relationship with her, she didn't want to kill her anymore. So Corey Give It Into the Darkness was her basically killing Rachel, like she was supposed to. Jason's situation was him fighting Dick at the exact moment where Dick killed Batman. Because Jason's whole thing is like, he's like, I love being Robin. He's like, I love kicking ass and beating up criminals and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, bro, like, you killed Bruce. Like, he was allowing me to do what I wanted to do, and, like, now he's gone. So the two of them got into a fight, and apparently, this is something that I didn't know about, but they've never talked about it in any of the DC, like, cartoons or like animes or even any live action stuff. Bruce actually keeps the gun that murdered his parents. Like, he had the gun that killed his parents in the Batcave, and after Dick basically beat the holy hell out of Jason took the gun, and Dick was just like, well, you can use the gun that murdered Bruce's parents, but Bruce never keeps the gun loaded. And then Jason was like, haha, bitch, I keep it loaded. And he blasted Dick and he shot him in the head, and Dick died. So that's how Jason gave into his darkness. So now, Beast Boy and, Gar, Gar and Raven, there's Rachel, they're still running around the house, like fleeing from Trigon. They bump into everybody. They see that everyone has given into the darkness, and they're like possessed by Trigon. So now they're freaking out, and then Trigon's like, I can only take power once my daughter's heart is broken, and there's one more heartbreaking lesson that needs to happen. And he tells because the others are under his control at this point, he tells them to beat the crap out of Gar, and they beat up Gar, and Rachel thought Gar was dead, and she started crying, her heart broke, and then Trigon literally, like, reached into her body, took her heart and broke it, which created the jewel that Raven's known to have on her forehead. So then Trigon takes the jewel, he puts it on Raven's forehead. He actually put it into her forehead, and he said to her, he was like, you now have the same power that I do, and we can take over the world together. So he gave her the jewel provided her with, like, this extreme force of power, like this new power that she had, and now she's given into the dark side, and, now they're all ready to take over the world. But much to my surprise, and to the surprise of everyone else, I assume, Gar ends up being the hero of this entire situation, because he finally turned into a different animal other than a tiger. Because he was left in the corner, which everybody thought he was left there for dead. He ended up turning into a snake, and he, like, slithered his way, like, through the glass and out of his clothes or whatever. He turned back to normal, so we got a green snake out of it, so that was pretty cool. We got two animals for Gar. And, when he turned back to normal, he saw Rachel, he grabbed Rachel's hand, and the connection that the two of them had built throughout the entire series, he was able to, like, get into her mind and, like, get into her emotions and get into her soul, and, his love and his, like, light, mixed in with her darkness, he was able to overcome her darkness, and she snapped out of it. So after that, and obviously, like, Gar's, like, he's all beat the hell up at this point, so he can't really be any help. So Raven ends up doing the same for Dick. Like, she takes Dick by the hand, she goes into his mind, she sees him at the point where he killed Batman, and the two of them have a conversation, and then she does this thing where she takes him back to the circus, because, it all took place with the boy in the circus, and, she got on top of the flying trapeze, and she was like, I'm going to swing towards you, and either if you catch me, you'll be, like, you'll snap out of it. If you don't catch me, I'll die for real. She swings. Obviously, Dick catches her. He snaps out of it. So now Dick is back. Gar's okay. The rest of them are still beat up. And then Rachel, for some reason, has, like, this abundance of this newfound courage, if you will, to take down her father. So she goes out to the field. And kudos to them for this, because I thought they were just going to have an actor just be her dad, and it was going to be like some human guy that just pretends to be, that just plays the dad character. They actually committed to Trigon. They actually used the actual I mean, he wasn't like a gajillion feet tall as we've seen in, like, other things, but they got the thing with the three eyes and the horns, and he looked all, like, devilish and everything. So I'm like, all right, kudos to y'all for that. Like, y'all gave us an actual Trigon, and it looked good too. So kudos to that. Rachel ended up, she ends up killing her father. She went out to the field. She was like, "Ha, you gave me the jewels, so I got power now to take you down." She blew him up. And then, happiness is here again. Everybody comes back to normal. They snap out of it. And then, the reporters show up and people are like, the cops are there and they're investigating. Jason is still wearing the Robin costume. He's like, the Titans are back, bitches. Which brings us to Slade Wilson. Slade Wilson was in hiding somewhere in the woods. And he went to like this local bodega, whatever they have what cabin store that they have in the woods, and he saw Jason on the news talking about how the Titans are back, and he immediately just like reacted to it as though, them being back like bothered him. To the point where, because he lives in this big beautiful mansion, he has like this henchman or like this associate of his, whatever. He ends up going back to the house, and his associate, he goes downstairs to the armory. The associate is like, "Yeah, I cleaned all the blood off your suit, so you're ready to go." And then he saw all his weapons, and then he was like, "Boss, are we back?" And then obviously they are back because the guy went and got his suit. So there's an issue here. There's a backstory issue here because there was an original Titans. They did have an original Titans. So there's an issue here with why that triggered Slade. So you just saw him with the suit and the weapons, and then that was it. So it cuts to now the gang's all together. You got you got the three girls, Corey, Donna, Dove, and then also with Hank. They end up going their separate ways. Corey said she needs to figure her her ish out. Don and Hank are basically going back home, and they're just like, "Yo, we're out." And then Dove and Hawk and Dove, they're just like, "Yo, we're out." And Donna ends up, I guess, going back home to do whatever it is that she was doing. Dick ends up taking the kids. Jason, he has to take Jason because Jason's Batman's sidekick. So, he actually has to return him home. He ends up taking Gar and Rachel. And then, he was like, "Yo, I'm going to look after them." So he actually decides to take care of them, and to look after them, which is cool. So they drive off. They go back to, to Wayne Manor. Dick and Bruce Wayne actually have a conversation. He tells Bruce, all the stuff that bothered him. He tells Bruce why he left. The two of them have like a, for Batman, they had a warm heart-to-heart conversation, as good as you're going to get with Batman. And then, Dick tells him, he's like, "You know what, I think it's time that the Titans get a do-over." He's like, "I think we should run it back." And then Batman says, "I'll let you run it back on one condition," which the condition was take Jason with you, because Bruce even said taking in Jason proved to be a little bit more tougher than he realized. So he's like, "If you take Jason with you, I'll let you have the Titans Tower back in San Francisco." So they go to San Francisco. They're looking at the Titans. They're running around the tower. They show pictures of the original Titans. I mean, I would assume there was more than 4 of them, so maybe we'll see more characters as it progresses. So they're in the tower, and they're just like, "Where are we now?" And then Dick's like, "We're home." And then they show you San Francisco, and then the episode ends. No end credit scene, no cut scene, and that was the perfect season finale, which was turned into a season opener. And that felt nothing like a season opener. So, yeah, that was basically how the episode went. So now, the good. A lot of the good is, or pretty much like, the majority of it was good. Like, I don't, I like the banter between Donna and Corey, and I'm glad that's not over. I like how they introduced Slade. They kept it a mystery, and you could tell. Well, I mean, everyone saw the trailer at this point, so the original Titans are coming back. So that's obviously not a secret. But no, but it was done very well. Like, it was done very well. So as far as like the good is concerned, the closing to the episode and how it shaped out at the end was very good. There is some bad though. So as far as like the bad is concerned, I don't like the fact that. Because by now I think everybody knows the story by now. The season opener that we all saw, I assume we all saw at this point this weekend, was supposed to be the season finale to last year. The producers, the showrunners, directors, whatever, they said that they decided at the last minute to take the season finale and turn it into the season opener. I didn't like that because when you watch the episode, you feel like the show just ended. Like, I didn't watch this episode yesterday and say to myself, gee, I can't wait to see what happens next week. I watched and I was like, oh, that was cool, it's over now, and and we're moving on. So I mean, I didn't get the choice of why they did that, but I wasn't really a fan of that. One thing I actually did not like, and it really bothered me, whoever casted that actor to play Bruce Wayne needs to be shot and fired. Because it's not that the actor's a bad actor. He was actually a very good actor, and I liked how he portrayed Bruce Wayne, how he had the conversation. But from a look standpoint, when he first showed up and they pulled up at the mansion and he came out to greet them, I swear to God I thought that was Alfred. He doesn't look like Bruce Wayne, he looks like Alfred. First of all, he looks old. Like, like, I understand Bruce at this point is supposed to be maybe in like his early mid-40s, whatever, but this dude looked old. He had a bald spot on his head. All of his hair was gray. He doesn't look like someone who puts on a costume and goes out at night and fights crime. He looks at someone who serves tea and dinner and patches up the people who go out and fight crime and then come back. The guy looks like Alfred. Like, some of the worst casting I've seen this year is the person they got to play Bruce Wayne in Titans, the kid, if you're a fan of Cloak and Dagger, the kid who they got to play a young Tyrone, that's bad casting. Because young Tyrone and adult Tyrone look nothing alike. And as an African American, I'm kind of offended by that. And also in Arrow, the actress in Arrow who plays Zoe, Wild Dog's daughter, they cast an actress to play her in the future. Wild Dog is Spanish. His wife was white. His wife died. So obviously they have a mixed kid. The kid is like half white, half Spanish. The young version of the girl looks white. The adult looks flat out Spanish, and she looks more like his daughter than the little girl. So that was bad casting. And now here we go again with Bruce Wayne. Like, that actually really bothered me. And I hope he actually never suits up as Batman, because I can't see it. Like, I cannot see this dude putting on the costume and like running off. But aside from that, there wasn't really anything else that that bothered me. I said it was just those two things. I didn't like the season finale whole thing and the Bruce Wayne casting. Predictions. So as far as predictions are concerned, see, there's nothing really to predict because the episode didn't leave on a cliffhanger. Because it was supposed to be a season finale. So they didn't show us anything to make me be like, oh man, this might happen next time. It was kind of like they ended it. But again, we've all seen the trailers. We all know what's going to happen. The next episode, which is the first episode, is called Rose. Rose, the Asian girl with the eye patch, which I guess is Slade Wilson's daughter. So she's next week's episode. The episode entitled Rose. So my guess is, I don't think Slade will show up yet. I don't think he'll actually show up and attack them yet. What's going to happen is Dick's probably going to try to put the team together. They'll randomly bump into Rose doing some stuff. Corey's going to have her situation where her people come to take her back home because she's supposed to be like a princess, whatever. Maybe we'll get a Blackfire sighting. I don't know how maybe her and Donna are still in the same city and then like they click up. But I don't know how everybody's going to be back into the fold. I mean, Jason's a part of the team now. So it's just going to be training. Like I said, like we saw, it's going to be training, him trying to get everybody, like hooked and ready to go. Hopefully we see some new characters and the team will grow. Maybe Cyborg will come in. That'll be very cool too. But like I said, but not really too much to predict. But overall, good start. It's a good start to the new season. I'm glad we finally put the cap on the first season, which is why there was no Superboy in this episode, because he's technically a season 2 situation. So maybe Superboy will come into play in the second episode or not. We'll see. And that's about it. So thanks for tuning in. I will review the second episode. I also have a couple of other episodes coming up with some other shows, because it's almost fall now. We're getting back into it. All the TV shows are coming back. Final season of Arrow. And I'm definitely going to do episodes for Arrow because Arrow is my #1 show. And it's going to hurt me tremendously to see it go. So thanks for tuning in. Titans, we're back, bitches! And until next time, I'm out. This bitch!